Here we're looking at the open portal for the St. Louis mine. It's EC0147. We're looking almost due east into the portal. The rock's pretty stable looking. You can see where a stream comes out of there just a couple gallons a minute. It ponds up on the just outside the portal, and then it kind of forms a swampy area out in front here, and then flows down a little road that goes off to the south, and really does not come across the dump itself and seep through it to any real extent. Probably does to some extent. We'll get up closer and take a look inside the portal and see what that looks like. Here we're looking right inside the portal of the St. Louis mine. It can't really tell how far it goes back, but it does go back a bit, and there's a nice little 1 to 2 gallon a minute stream coming out of it, and you hear water dripping in the background in there. Can't really see any timbers to speak of. I think that the walls are fairly stable. It may be timbered up back in their ways, but it seems to be fairly well stabilized. There are rails coming out of the mine that to get waste rock and ore out. So we'll turn around and look at the dump now, back out to the west. Here we're looking west from the portal of the St. Louis mine out onto the dump area. You can see the stream of water goes out, ponds up, forms a kind of a boggy area right out on top of the dump, and then flows to the south to get away from the dump itself. But we'll get a little bit better perspective out on the dump itself now. Here we're on the north end of the dump, looking south. The portal is back in this area where it comes out, and looking at the kind of boggy area out in front. There's some kind of a platform where there was a milling machine or some kind of machinery anyway was mounted on this foundation just right outside the portal, kind of on the south side of the portal out on the dump. It's fairly flat top here, boggy under most of it. As you can see, there's some rails coming out of the portal and comes out onto the dump. They're buried right up close to the portal, probably in the boggy area there. We'll look at a dump that's down below, kind of where a continuation right out the portal, looking to the west now, and see what that looks like. Here we're looking west out off the end of the flat part of the dump. There's another dump area at a lower part down below here, kind of a dispersed area of waste rock, I assume, and some kind of timbers down here. They might have had an ore chute or something built out on that. It's hard to say. You can't really tell. It's all completely collapsed. We're looking west again out towards the little road that comes into the St. Louis here. So this will be it for the St. Louis mine at the adit. We'll go up and look at the shaft. There's a nearly vertical shaft that will go up above to the east, and look at that. Here we're looking down into the shaft that's to the east of the St. Louis adit. It's nearly vertical. It may not be a shaft. It may be a raise. They may have came from the portal or the adit below and came up. There's not much of a dump up above here. As you can see, it's timbered in pretty well, and it's standing pretty good. It's very wet down there, and therefore it's the wood's pretty well rotted, but in amazingly good shape. It may go clear down to the adit below. It's right in line with it, so I assume that it does. Maybe 30 or 40 feet vertical down to the bottom of this shaft. So, and it is completely open around the side. There's no fence or barrier to keep something from walking right up to it and falling in. It's very, very steep sides, as you can kind of get a impression here, nearly vertical on those sides that I'm looking at, and it's nearly vertical over here with where the dirt is, so it's very unsafe as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, this is the shaft for the St. Louis mine. We'll finish up here. This is the end for EC0147, the St. Louis mine. This is the St. Louis mill. It's basically just west of the St. Louis mine and downhill. I'm gonna refer to it with a separate number. It will be E08189902 because it's just there's a whole series of problems that are related to it itself that don't really relate to the mine itself, so it's got a separate number. As you can see that the building is essentially totally collapsed. There's a bit of foundation work down here at the very base of it, but by and large it's about maybe as much as 100 feet strewn up the hill where the building has collapsed. I'm not really sure what kind of mill it was. I'm sure it was a stamp mill of some sort. It may have been ball mills inside there, but it's all the material, the steel and what have you, has been taken out or is covered up with the collapsed wood. So anyway, we're looking east up the hill towards the St. Louis mine, but this is the mill that's related to the St. Louis. We'll turn around and look down the hill, down out into the stream, which is the very headwaters of Jumbo Creek, I believe, and look where the tailings were concentrated out into where they flowed out into the valley here. Here we're looking west from the base of the St. Louis mill, and you can see the stream running through the area. That's the headwaters of Jumbo Creek, I believe. It's a branch of Jumbo Creek anyway, way high up on it. Anyway, you can see this light stuff here, light colored material. That, I believe, is all tailings. If you get out in it, it's very sandy, and it's oxidized in places, but it's by and large just that light white colored area, and it doesn't really cross the creek so much. It just basically goes right down to the edge of the creek. It crosses it a bit in some of the meanders, and I took water samples upstream and downstream of this tailing flow, and also a sample of the tailings just to kind of document what's going on here. This is on Forest Service ground. It's not patented as the St. Louis mine area is, and so this just will help document the area. That bare area crossed over there, it might be being a salt lick for elk. There's been quite a few in this area, and I believe that's why that area on the other side of the creek is so worn out. The creek does flow from right to left on downstream this way. We're looking at the road that goes down to Jumbo Camp. That's this here road to background. It goes on down quite a ways, a couple miles, mile and a half, couple miles maybe, down to Jumbo Camp, and it just travels on, stays on this side of the stream all the way, on the far side of the stream all the way. I'm sorry. So anyway, this will be it for the St. Louis mill and tailings area, and we'll move on to another property next.